Good morning, collective. Good morning. How is my collective doing this fine day? I hope you all are finding joy and you're choosing joy over pain and trauma. I hope that you're breaking out of your cycles, breaking generational curses. I hope that any of information that we gather for you helps in the transition as we go from the head to the heart into the new earth energies. There's definitely a lot going on, definitely a lot of things playing out that are representative of letting go of a lot of old earth paradigms. And we're happy to help with the shift. We're going through our own shift and just documenting the guidance that we receive from our spirit team. I'm your favorite spirit medium, Patience with Spirit. If you want to follow any of our socials, we would be so happy to have you be part of our community. We are excited to be able to bring forward messages from Divine Spirit to get higher perspectives of linear views. We are the host of Spirit News, which you can find on all major platforms through the link tree in the bio, along with all of our socials. If you want to have more metaphysical information, that's where you can find our spirit nuggets and our more densely packed, more formatted episodes that are designed to help you with your ascension process, going from the head to the heart. We're shifting energies into new earth energies. We're learning how to navigate these energetic times by learning energy. The currency throughout the universe is not money, it's energy. And so we have been really gypped. We've been really gypped on. Oh, Haji! Hello! Good day to you. Thank you for being here. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well. I send you blessings and love and light. Thank you for being here. But we've been really gypped on the whole knowing our capabilities, knowing the truth about the universe. Lots of things have been held back from us being at our full potential. And we've been gathering a lot of components for the next episode of Spirit News, which is the rise of the divine feminine. So, Ricardo, good morning. Oh, working today. Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Hey, Nanya. Hey, I don't know. Um, why do you purse your lips when you talk? Ah, I don't know. Maybe I do it unconsciously. I'm not trying to. Do you have a rosary in your room? You know, I don't have a rosary. The rosary is in my heart. That's where the rosary is. Know the truth about who God is, the true Jesus. You don't need this. Hey, but some people do. You're right. I don't need it. But some people do. They need a little help.
A form of magic.
They need a form of magic. They need a little help to understand their divinity, to understand how to have a relationship with spirit. So, that's our goal to speak with our own spirit guides to help reveal what needs to heal, to be a messenger. So, um, we are happy to do so. We're happy to be of service. Today is a kind of a heavy energy, and I had to do a lot of praying. I had to do a lot of protection. I had to bring in a lot of troops to come transmute this energy because it's really heavy, honestly. It has a lot of darkness behind it. It has a lot of lies behind it. It has a lot of unknown things. So I'm gonna tap in. I'm gonna see what we can get. Again, this was for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that. I can't prove anything that comes forward, but we're gonna try our best to try to get some kind of answers. Actually, his name's Yeshua. Yeshua is very important. We talk to Yeshua all the time. So thank you for pointing that out. Yeshua is always here with us. Yeshua is definitely an ascended master who has
Yes,
helped
I can.
me to, yes, who has helped me to understand my own. Mastery of my self peace, of my peace. So he's here as well, helping us reveal truth. Yeshua was definitely an example of what it's like to walk in your divine energy, to have a direct relationship with your own spirit team, with your own Christ consciousness. That's directly a direct path to our creator. So we're happy to bring his energy forward too. When we say spirit team, it's all benevolent divine energy that wants to help the development or the transition of the collective. Okay, so you know he didn't help you with this. Monty, you're happy I'm happy to share your opinion, and I'm happy to um explain further if you want, if you need more understanding, but that is just your reality. And so you cannot place your reality onto me and tell me that I am wrong and you are right. I am walking in my own divine energy through my heart consciousness, and I'm of service. I'm using my gifts for service, just like Yeshua. And so you cannot come into my life and, well, we can have this conversation privately if you want to know more information. But now we have victims that are not being acknowledged, who are being killed, and this is their time. So I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Okay, I'm sorry, Monty. You're just too distracting, okay? And so I gotta get you out of here. I'm sorry, honey. I try to give you a chance, but you're being very one-sided. Sorry. Okay. I'm happy to talk about any, misinformation or, I don't practice witchcraft. And that's the problem with our collective, is that, everyone believes that if you have spiritual abilities that you're evil, and that's just not true. This is the it's a much more it's not complex, it's actually quite simple. There's two sides to every coin, and it's not you don't have to practice witchcraft to have relationship with spirit. Okay, and that's just ridiculous. You can be a good person and be and have your spiritual abilities activated and use them for good and talk to good spirits. Okay, so um I'm just not gonna have that. That's just ridiculous. If that's what you want to believe, that's fine, but I can't have it in the chat. Okay, because we don't have time for that. We're past that. We're beyond that. If you're not beyond that, you got some healing to do. You got some more research to do. We put all that research for you in Spirit News, which you can find on major platforms. And we're happy to help in any way, shape, or form, but not if it's going to be inflexible. You can't go into the new earth energies with the old thinking that has gotten us to where we are. You just can't do it, okay? So, thank you, Ohaji, for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I appreciate you. So, there's a couple things I was getting which are very interesting when it comes to this. I'm calling it the Epstein Files because I tried to connect with Jeffrey Epstein with the protection of Archangel Michael, but this thing happens with certain souls uh, that are in like a timeout, I'll call it. It's kind of like a timeout. When certain souls cross over and they have transgressed or have done really heavy things in their earth experience, they go into a timeout where they kind of do their review and they kind of heal from all of the trauma they inflicted on others and all of the trauma that was inflicted on them. They don't instantly reincarnate. And an example of souls that are like that is like Hitler, just really dense people. Scovy, good morning. And so Jeffrey Epstein is one of those souls. And so we won't be speaking directly to his energy today, but we do have his guides, and we have our guides, and we have the angels. So we can definitely get a higher perspective of the situation, and see what comes forward. I don't know what's going to come forward, but we'll see if we can get a glimpse. Okay, so I just wanted to say that first and foremost. That's why I called it the Epstein Files. Okay. Secondly, on our list of things to bring up, I did so when I do a thumbnail for um Bom dia from Brazil. Thank you for being here. Um, when I do the thumbnail for the videos to fit the format of YouTube thumbnails, I go to my my editing program, and I adjust the size, and AI will fill in the rest so it's not like an empty space. And it's interesting because I split the energy of a young Jeffrey Epstein, and then the current, the most recent Jeffrey Epstein. And I got a little, excuse me, and I got a little side face of Ghislaine Maxwell. And then AI filled in the rest. And it's interesting because AI put a chip on on his shoulder of the young Jeffrey Epstein. And then on the most current picture, extended the painting in the back of water behind the most current picture. So the chip on his shoulder, when you find it, so the chip on the shoulder of when he was younger, um, and then when he's older, it's just like um, putting into the back of his mind his emotions about some kind of chip on his shoulder. Okay, so I was getting that. Um, I don't know what that is yet. I heard he has a very small member, which, I'm not a man, but from when I speak to, I mean, I don't speak to men all the time about this, but in the past, men who are concerned with the size of their member, have brought up how that's could be a chip on someone's shoulder. I don't know. We'll see. Um, okay, and then I wanted to bring up the body language of him with Ghislaine Maxwell. I was looking for pictures to, which was very hard, by the way, to choose for the thumbnail because I don't want to be negligent and be disrespectful and like glorify this person. He's definitely in a place of healing right now where you know, he has a long review to do, and so it was hard to choose the picture, but I was looking through the pictures, and I was looking at him and Ghislaine, and it's like the body language is so loud. It's so loud that he's always facing away from her, pulling away from her. She's the one who's like always like on him, just it definitely feels like a chaser runner dynamic. Where he's the runner, she's the chaser. So definitely was reading into that. I just thought that that was interesting, just saying to me like he wasn't interested in her in that way, but she was interested in him in that way. So that was a strange dynamic to read. And then I did get a song. I got a song. I woke up singing. It's by Avicii, which we did a reading with Avicii. If you wanna go check that out, it's called "Wake Me Up." It says, feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Well, that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know that I was lost. A confirmation. Confirmation. I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have two hands. Hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay young, stay forever this young. Not afraid. That's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. I'll tell you in a second about being young. I was getting something about that. Wish that I could stay young forever, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over. So what I was getting from the song is the chip on his shoulder may have uh, made him create some kind of dream or some kind of idea that he thought would compensate or make people look at him as if he had power, or kind of like oh, I'm going to show you, like a rejection wound, definitely a rejection wound. And getting so caught up in wanting to fill that cup of rejection with like power and prestige and money, that he forgot, he may have forgotten exactly what he was there for. He operated so long in that energy that he never found love. He was only finding power or something. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. And he says, all this time I thought I was finding myself and I didn't know that I was lost. So there's some, and like I said, he's currently in life review, in a timeout, realizing how lost he was. Okay. He's realizing that this whole time he thought that he had it all. He thought he had everything figured out. But really, he was missing the key ingredient. He was missing the one thing he didn't have, and that was love. And so his life passed. I don't have an answer. And so his life passed him by so quickly because he was in this energy of being untouchable, of having everything, confirmation, of just you know, thinking that he was untouchable, unstoppable. And so wake me up when it's all over. Now at the end, he's like he doesn't want to face the music. So wake me up when it's all over. Um, which is probably why I mean, I don't know how he died. He could have unalived himself. It seems unlikely to me, but we'll see. Okay, so now he's in life review and he's like, wake me up when it's all over. He's like, what did I do? I was lost. I can't believe I inflicted so much pain that I thought I had it all figured out. I was so certain that I was doing it because I had everything I wanted and I had power and I had, everyone knew who I was. So he definitely is giving us this, or his guides are giving us this picture of what, from a higher perspective of his, of what he's reviewing. He's reviewing his life and he's like, I have nothing. I had absolutely nothing to show for this life I made where I thought I had this dream and I thought I could do anything I wanted and I could get away with anything, and I got so caught up in having power and blah blah, that I didn't know I was lost. It kind of feels like that. So, and then the last thing I was getting before we start asking some questions and getting some um, clarification, we were watching this movie Sinners, which is absolutely wonderful. I really liked it. Um, it has Michael B. Jordan in it, which come through, boo. I like me some Michael B. Jordan, okay? And it was interesting because he was twins. He was twins. He was playing twins. He was playing both twins in the movie, and then I don't want to like give the movie away if you haven't seen it, but something that was really standing out was the thing about being young. And there's a part in the movie where he ended up, staying young for a long time, probably for a long time after that. So there's some kind of dynamic about being young again, or trying to stay young, or something about, my pen doesn't work. Something about that. About like the eternal fountain of youth or something. And vampirism. And vampirism. Without giving the movie away too much, for those who haven't seen it, I'm sorry if it's a spoiler alert, but something about vampirism. And it doesn't have to be in the, in the movie sense of that, just it could be, more metaphysical, or metaphysical. It could be metaphysical. It could also be metaphorical. There's or energetic. There's lots of ways that we can exhibit vampirism without sucking people's blood. It could be people's time, people's energy, people's money, people's innocence. People's guilt and shame. Like things like that. Okay. All right. I know that was a lot, but I did get a lot, so where do you want us to go? Top of, top of the deck right here. They like to be toxic. They like to be toxic. Can you clarify that? We'll do our stare cards. So one of the questions I have is why aren't they releasing the files? Okay, why aren't they releasing the files, Spirit? Why is this such a big deal? Like, why are they gaslighting us about horrible things that they did? That's really what I don't understand. Like what I'm learning about human behavior and emotions, and what the things patterns that people exhibit when they're walking in dishonesty, is they'll want to either not even talk about something, or they'll change the subject, or they'll gaslight, and they'll, why do you want to talk about that? That's ridiculous. We don't want to, that's over with. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just tell the victims, like, oh, it's over, so just get over it. Like, I'm not sure. It doesn't feel like that is the appropriate response to the situation. It feels like a defensive response. It feels very defensive, very, stonewalling, just just knock it off. We're not talking about that anymore. That guy's, that shit's over with. I don't know why you're freaking out about this. This is dead. This is old news. Like, that just doesn't feel right. Okay, so what is happening here?
Left on my own.
Left on my own. That's too many. Left on my own. Hmm. Oh my gosh. What in the world? Okay, look at this. Do you see this rock on this, like, it looks like a folder, or some kind of like classified, like, file holder? That is so funny. And I just said stonewalled. The files have been stonewalled. They are under a rock, and everyone's playing a game, looking beyond and past this uh stone on the ground. hmm It feels like the energy. Well, if we just pretend like it didn't happen, maybe people will, look away, look the other way. If we just hit a home run and something else, it's a distraction. It's definitely a distraction. If we just hit a home run in some other aspect of the situation, then nobody will notice that we've stonewalled the files, that we've covered up the files, that we've sealed them, that we are hiding them. But it's funny because they're not actually hidden in this picture. They're just, put away. And there's 4 people in this, so there's also a priest in the background who took his hat off. Hmm. Someone who claims to be of upstanding moral fiber. Someone who's their um, showing their head, showing that they have some kind of how can I put that? He's also holding a is he holding a bat or a stick? Looks like a walking stick. Someone who's showing his many faces, someone who wears many hats, someone who's looking mm,
Died in building.
mm, someone who's looking elsewhere, anywhere except those files. It kind of feels like distraction, um, embarrassment. It feels like stubbornness. And the two children are, mm, the two children, there's also this weird bag on the ground with like some red stuff coming out of it that's under this old lady's shoe. Stepping on people's necks, stepping on um, stepping on people's toes, having a very stern
Fatality.
having a very stern stance on how they want this to play out. Look, there's also blood on the bat. There's also blood on the bat right here, or redness. So something about beating something with a bat, could be beating a bag with a bat. Um, Beating a dead horse. Someone who's claiming that this is, like I said, this is gaslighting 101, beating a dead horse. Oh, you said, we're still talking about that? That's beating a dead horse. We need to get over that. This energy could be the president. But definitely wanting people to look in another direction.
Kathy.
Okay? Making distractions, home run distractions, so actually like doing something good to distract from something bad, something like that. But definitely stonewalling the files on purpose, but not hiding them. There's something that they're keeping back, something that they. It kind of doesn't feel like there may be some more investigating that needs to happen before they can. There could be some kind of, what's your book about? Yes, I was just gonna say, they could be doing this because they need to find out more information, something about the public, um, not wanting the public to interfere with possibly the way that they're, with finding out some kind of information. Um, I have a detective, farm animals, science, sports, knights, and dragons. What's your book about? Yeah, there's something. The files could not be released right now because there's something else that has to happen, or something else they need to figure out, that's kind of can't be divulged to the public or something, that could have, and also I'm getting that there's something about this information that touches a lot of different I don't know what to call it, like a lot of different programs, like our science and our police and our sports and our food and our government, knights and dragons. Okay, so there's something about that. There could be a lot of things that the files encompass that still need investigating and that are too convoluted to divulge yet, that need more streamlining or something like that. What's your book about? Yeah, there could be, those files could encompass so many different um like scientists, and like it could touch a lot of different, our police departments and our even sports teams, and our food. There's lots of things that this file encompasses that could affect so many things that it if it is released, there's something about it collapsing too many structures at once, too many people at once. Something like that. So, what else? I told you, yeah. So they have to look a little closer. There's something that they have to keep investigating. Interest, something, they have self-interest. There's things that they're looking for, other avenues to, place the timeline together, um to figure out another way to spin the story, to um so they don't include all the people that are involved. They're trying to keep it quiet so they have time to look closer at how they can spin the narrative. Are you saying that are you saying that they want to release the files but under their own narrative? That could be something that they're saying. Because there's so many things that it branches out into. These files encompass or have a lot of people involved, have a lot of um I don't know what to call it, like branches of our society involved. And so they're trying to figure out a way to, before the files get released, to kind of dilute that information, to streamline it in a way that fits their narrative so it doesn't implicate certain people, places, or things, or activities, or things that we're investing our money in, or people. They're trying to buy themselves time to do that, is what it seems like. I don't know why other crows are afraid of scarecrows. I don't know why crows are afraid of. I don't know why other crows are afraid of scarecrows. There also may be something about the many branches and people that are involved are scared, or the people who hold the files are scared because of what is in the files. Why, I don't know why other crows are afraid of scarecrows. Yeah, they could be scared of what's to come out. And so they're trying to figure out a way to scare the people away from wanting to know the information. Um, they're trying to divert attention by something good, but really they're scared to be hit. They're scared to be hit by something that is unseen, something that they don't know. They're afraid that something's going to come out that they can't control the narrative of, is what it looks like. So what is hidden? What are they so afraid of?
Spectral light.
Something that they all took part in, something that they helped build, something that they participated in, something that they
Right time.
right time. I told you. Something that's going to come out at the right time. They're afraid of something coming out about what something they participated in. They want to try to control the narrative for when it does come out because they know that there's so many people involved. What scares them is a loose end. So they're trying to buy themselves time to go to all the branches of and people that are involved to cut loose ends. What can we, what will we be witnessing as this unfolds, if that's true? Come to the big show. Come to the big show. Doesn't that look like a list? Yeah, there's somebody who has a list. And we're all gonna see it. So that's definitely what they're scared of. It's definitely what they're scared of. Um, they're trying to go through, they're trying to do their own investigation to buy themselves time by telling us that there's nothing to look at here, but
Debatable.
but really, it's debatable. But really, there is something to look at, and what they're trying to do is buy themselves time because there's so many players involved that they're doing their own investigation to try to dilute the amount of people that could come forward who would have knowledge of the list. They're scared of their own scarecrows, of the people who are involved, of everyone who participated. They're trying to go through all the files to find all those people, to tie up loose ends, to figure out another narrative, to divert attention away from people of importance that were involved, that participated, that watched, that knew of it, that are guilty by association because it's not going to look good. And so that's what they're scared of. So they're trying, but there's so many people. And so, what can we expect as they try to control this this situation? What can we expect? Mm, look at this. They could be stonewalling people who are involved, going systematically to each person and fish hooking them with blackmail or with money or with pain or torture or something. They could be doing this behind the scenes and wearing a smile as they do it. But look at the cloud above the boy, around the boy. Manipulation. Um, they could be finding the people and saying, if you talk, then I'm gonna, we're going to hurt your family and we're gonna ruin your life and you're gonna be blackballed from society, stuff like that. Um, Doing that behind the scenes as they buy themselves time because the time has come.
Paranormal.
Paranormal. Spirit said paranormal. I was gonna say, I said the cloud, in when spirit shows someone with a cloud over their head or smoke or something like that. It usually represents something paranormal or something um, interdimensional or some kind of energy manipulation. They could possibly be, and that could be why the boy is not is facing away and smiling, because they don't have to get their hands dirty, so doing something that they don't have to be directly tied to because it's non-physical, something paranormal. They could be haunting these people. They could be sending these people um, energy or obstacles, something like that. And when I say people, I mean people who are in the files that have knowledge of or participation of whatever it is that they were building. Some kind of snowman, so some kind of. It's funny though, because the snowman has two heads, so some kind of monster that they made, some kind of
West.
monstrosity. Okay, so mm, it could be the victims. They could be trying to figure out who all the victims are and who's associated with them, trying to find out who benefited from, who received fruit, who gained fruit from this, from the victims, who extracted um, uh, fruit from the victims, or who the victims are. They could be trying to go through the files, which I guess there's a lot of files, to figure out who they are. I cannot make it up. I can't make it up. To get rid of them. Okay? So, if this timeline, the timeline might shift now that I'm revealing it. So we might be jumping another timeline as I'm revealing this current one that I'm reading. Um, they could. This is what their plan is by not revealing the information, because they don't want us to know who all the victims are and who was involved and who benefited. So they're trying to take our temperature with they're trying to push a boundary. They're trying to see, how far we'll let them go with this. And at the same time, as we're being distracted by this, we're being upset by this revelation of being stonewalled. They're going through the files themselves, trying to figure out all the connections and doing their own investigation for their own purposes of controlling the narrative. So they want to find all the victims, because they know the victims they don't want them to feel safe enough to talk. They want the victims to be, victim shamed, and what beautiful flowers, they're from your garden. They want to know who benefited off of these victims, who was, so they can go through them systematically and try to stonewall them, and possibly, threaten them. Just like Virginia Gouffre. Virginia Gouffre, we did a reading with her, and she passed away because she was talking. And so, um, this could be the current mindset of what they want to do and why they're prolonging or gaslighting us about the list and the files themselves, because this is what they're doing behind the scenes. Okay? So, hopefully by revealing this timeline of theirs, it kind of ruins their plans, and they'll have to divert.
Turn away.
They'll have to turn away. Thank you, Spirit. They'll have to turn away from this plan. And so we may, what they may have expected on this timeline, but now it's going to change, is that the victims one by one would have been coming up overdosed, dying basically. But we're revealing that. So this could possibly change the tide. They're gonna have to have a new plan because this one's not gonna work. Okay, it's not gonna work because I'm revealing it. And so if these victims start dying, then we know that something funny is going on here. So they're gonna have to do something different. Please stop tickling me. I'm not doing anything. And look, it's an elephant. It's an elephant. Is the Democrats an elephant? I think the Democrats are an elephant
Debatable.
and the Republicans are a donkey or something like that. So something about our Democratic Party um, distracting. It says please stop tickling me. I'm not doing anything. So a little bit of gaslighting. We'll we'll see exactly what that means. Umbrella. This bear's holding an umbrella. Please stop tickling me. I'm not doing anything. Yeah, they could possibly be the next thing they'll try to do is if we're outing their first plan, the next thing they're going to try to do is blame other people. Try to put the evidence on other people. Please stop tickling me. I'm not doing anything. It's not me. And the elephant's tickling the other person's foot. So they're going to start saying, well, it wasn't this person, it was this person. They're going to blame shift, and they're going to try to blackmail people who are innocent that haven't done anything to take the fall for something that they were involved in. They're going to start switching the names on the list. They're going to start switching the faces using AI. They're going to start saying this person did it and this person didn't do it. They're going to try to control the narrative of what we see. But we have to be mindful of, we have to be observers of everything that they're going to tell us. We really can't believe what they say. We really can't believe what they say. We can't take it at face value. So that's the next thing they're going to try to do. Pink Panther. That's interesting. There's Pink Panther in that picture on the bed. That is so interesting. What?
Turn away.
Pink Panther. There's a flamingo. Let me look up Pink Panther real quick. Pink Panther? A cartoon character series of comedy mystery films or a civilian patrol group. A civilian
Difficult to believe.
A civilian patrol group. What? Founded in New York City's West Village in 1990, formed to combat anti-LGBT violence. Huh. They're in bed. The Democrats may be in bed with LGBT government agents or government officials. And there's a laptop here too. And it looks like a camera. It looks like a camera up here. So the next thing that's going to happen, or the thing that they're afraid of, is some kind of video footage of government officials making music in bed together with LGBT members or something, or something like that. they want to try to hide. They don't want this footage to come out that could implicate many government officials of the Democratic Party. And um, it could be Democratic and Republican, but there is an elephant here, so there could be a specific person. Um, and so I'm getting like two sides here. There's like one side, there's definitely people who want the truth to come out in our government. Okay, I don't know who they are, but I am getting that there are people who do still have some kind of moral fiber that want the truth to come out. And I think what it is that to us, anyone who's on the list will be associated with Epstein, and then we will automatically demonize them. Okay. And so there's like this part of this energy where if the everything comes out too soon, then we will just assume that everyone on the list who was involved or associated with whatever it was that they were doing. And so there is a self-interest in that they want to investigate further so they can streamline the information more so they can not be implicated in the depths of what was going on because they maybe were associated partially but not completely. And I don't know who that is. I don't know, I don't know who exactly it is, but there is there's both energies. But then these other players that are within this dynamic that want to completely, stonewall the victims, blame shift onto other people to blackmail other people, and they could possibly be doing it through some kind of energy manipulation. Okay, and that could be lies. That could be just manipulating people to divert attention away from them. So there are both of these energies in this reading. Okay. So they definitely are um, currently in real time investigating who the players are so they can find them, talk to them, find out where they're at with divulging information that could possibly end up being hurt or threatened. Just like Virginia Giuffre, she didn't want to back down, so we know what happened to her. Okay.
Pack up your stuff.
Pack up your stuff. Spirit said, pack up your stuff. There's going to be a lot of people. We're kind of revealing a timeline of their ideas of what they want to do, of how they're trying to play this out. Certain, they're planning. They're stonewalling these files because they need more time because there's so many things that is involved that they need time to really figure out how they're going to do this because they don't want to be implicated. Okay, so but Spirit says pack up your stuff because there's going to be a lot of people leaving office. A lot of people are going to be left out in the cold when it comes to their affiliation or association with Epstein and what's on the files. There's definitely something about blackmail. Definitely some kind of video footage and laptop like files, stuff like that. Definitely. Buy a one-way ticket to Mars. So whatever's on the files is definitely like not normal. It's nobody buys a one-way ticket to Mars. It's definitely a one-way ticket to bizarre something that's not normal. Okay? Tell me more about what this video footage is going to entail. Tell a stranger their fly is unzipped. Fly? Something about flying? Something about something about the fly list. Someone's going to tell a stranger about, or a stranger is going to come forward about the fly list, or they're going to unzip a file, or they could possibly find a file, or hack into a file. Something about unzipping a list, a fly list. Praise the many benefits of the latest fad diet. Hmm. Boeing. Oh my gosh. Spirit just said Boeing. Isn't that an airplane? Praise the many benefits of the latest fad diet. So there is something about this airplane, because I have fly. Spirit just said Boeing, which is a type of aircraft. Hey Gabriel, is this a tarot stream? I don't have anything against tarot, but we don't use tarot here. Spirit has guided me to use like game game cards and stuff just to show that everything is energy and you can read energy no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be tarot. Um, oh, Andrew, Prince Andrew. Spirit just said Andrew. Oh my God. Oh, oh my God. Pack up your stuff, Andrew. Boeing. So, pack up your stuff to go on this trip. There's something about, and I just don't know how to explain it. It's like a moment where Epstein is introducing this new exciting idea. Queen, oh my gosh. Queen Prince Andrew, Queen. I can't make it up, you guys. I'll show you.
Angela.
Prince Andrew, Queen. Um, cause the song said, "I have an idea, a dream." He had a dream. So there's something about something strange, something different, something out of this world, something that's not common in our society. Him having an idea about it, and you can buy a one-way ticket to fly on this plane that has many benefits of. It's something that many people praise and talk about, behind the scenes. It's something that you have to, it's a one-way ticket. Once you do it, you can't undo it. Something like that. Once you go there, you can't go back. But people praise the benefits of it, whatever this is. They've heard from strangers about how this, you know, what they do there is like, it brings them fruit of some kind, okay? Some kind of the latest fad. Some kind of, what is this? Become pen pals with a prison inmate. Something, it says buy a one-way ticket. Something that if anyone found out, it'd buy you a one-way ticket to prison. Okay? So it has a high risk and a high reward. Something like that. Something that has a high risk and a high reward. Tear up during a sad movie. It's funny that tear and tear are spelled the same. Oh, my throat chakra. It's funny that tear and tear are the same word, spelled the same. Tear up during a sad movie. Whatever that says that they were doing, that this plane would take them to, that they could buy a ticket on, that is only by invitation, something that's only by invitation, something that many people praise the benefits of doing, that would give you a one-way ticket to prison if anyone found out, something that something that's sad, something that's it's kind of like what the song said, I didn't know that I was lost, so wake me up when it's all over. Something that's sad that people think is that they can get away with. You know, it's sad that these people think that they can get away with doing whatever this is, not expect to pay the consequences of it. That's sad. Okay, they caused so many tears, they tore up so many lives, and yet they still feel like they don't have to, pay for that. That's very sad. Hog the microphone during karaoke. Hmm. But someone got greedy. Someone got greedy in this situation. It could have been Epstein. He could have got sloppy. He could have started wanting more. The more people he got involved, the drunker he got on power, the more he wanted to control them through whatever this is. It started to become like some kind of um high or addiction or something that he could control the narrative of by having the power over so many people, by some kind of ticket, one-way ticket on a plane,
In
um
dust.
in dust. Oh.
Carrots.
Carrots. So what are some things, so definitely whatever they were doing on the island is definitely something that they shouldn't get away with, okay? Or I said island. I mean the plane goes to the island, I guess. Were you ever suspended or expelled from school? Oh, and I wrote school right here. Were you ever suspended or expelled from school? Explore space or the ocean. And I have a one-way
Suddenly
ticket
appearing.
to Mars. There's something that they were doing on this island that they were being taught how to do to explore um, something beyond themselves, something unknown, something, because space and the ocean are both extremely unexplored. There's lots of unexplored areas of space and the ocean, so something unknown, something that they were learning, and if you were to tell anyone what you learned, you would be expelled or suspended from this school of the unknown. They were going to this island to smoothie or milkshake. yeah, they were being, um, there was some kind of oath they made. You know, do you want this to go smooth or do you want this to be a shaky road? They were sworn to secrecy. There's some kind of oath they took. There's some kind of secret, um, mm, secret that they can't break. They can't divulge because there's some kind of um, unknown um, consequences by revealing something. So these people are scared because the people involved are scared of something.
Purchase.
Perchance, if a fortune teller could tell you a thing about your future, what would you ask? What are they scared of? Something a fortune teller told them, or something that someone taught them on this island. If you they took an oath to not divulge a secret or not let a secret get out, because it would ruin something, or they would be ruined or something like that. They wouldn't have a smooth ride. Do you think your birth order, youngest, oldest, middle, or child, affected your personality? Something about um, an order, some kind of order that they're born into that may have affected his personality or affected these people's personalities. There's something off about their personality. They're part of some kind of order. The secret is about being learning some to do something unknown. But if you reveal something about this order, it affects your personality. There's some kind of threat about affecting you somehow personally, maybe through spirits, because I have vodka or tequila, through some kind of spirits. What was the first thing you bought with your own money that will affect your money, your spirit, your siblings, your life, your family? This could be another reason why they're trying to keep the information or stonewall it. Um, because there's three things here. There's trying to control the narrative of who's involved, trying to stonewall the victims so they don't come out with the information. They're trying at all ways to not break this oath they made to keep this secret, because it will affect them and their spirit, their family, their money. It will affect their whole life, even their personality, to allow this information to be revealed. And so there's a lot of people involved who don't want that to happen. They have their self-interest, but they are involved. But there are a few people who are guilty by association. They may not have, I don't know, there's something about them,
Solstice.
solstice, something about them being having knowledge of it but not actually participating, because there's some, in the background that witnessed it. Okay? So something like that. But they still don't, if the list comes out, they'll be guilty by association and they don't want to be condemned. So they're trying to find other players, um, and other people who could come forward who aren't afraid to break this oath. There's something about an oath they took that they're so scared to break. It says right here, I don't know why other crows are afraid of scarecrows. It's because behind the scenes, they know that if if they reveal the truth about what's going on, it could affect them and their money, their spirit, their family members, their life. Um, so they're scared. Their personality. It could actually make them go crazy, which is kind of like this energy manipulation. It could literally, makes people have mental disturbances or something. Tell me more about this oath. Tell me more about this oath. What is this oath they took? You can never remember your name even though you've met like 20 times. Oh my gosh, and I have hard to remember. Look, I wrote hard to remember. I wrote hard to remember on my notes, and this says can never remember your name.
Driven by rage.
I don't know if there's two things I'm getting from this, and one of them is whoever participated or was involved may be in footage of doing something they don't remember, but they're there. So there's something about that. Something about them participating in something they don't remember doing, and there's actual footage of them doing it, and they've seen it through these files, but they don't remember doing it. So there's something about that. They could have done it up to 20 times and they just don't even remember doing it. So something about memory. Putin. And there's Donald Trump there. Oh my god. Stop it. Oh my god, you guys. I cannot make it up. I cannot make it up. Wow. The teacher you hated the most in school. The teacher you hated most in school. I cannot make it up, you guys. I wouldn't make it up. The trolley delays traffic, stopping an ambulance from reaching an emergency. The trolley delays traffic, stopping an ambulance from reaching an emergency.
Present.
Present. Oh my gosh. Whatever they were doing on this island with this teacher, who now a lot of these people hate, which could have been Epstein. There's lots of delays happening because they're trying to stop an emergency from happening. They're trying to prevent an emergency. They're trying to stop this information from coming out because they did something they don't remember. Okay? There's lots of people in this energy that don't remember doing something. The secret ingredient is love. The best taco truck in the world. Yeah, there's a secret about something that they did that could possibly have to do. I have latest fad diet, best taco truck in the world, an ingredient, and I have where's that card at? And I have this one. So something about cooking, or maybe spirit cooking, or I don't know, something like that. This one is for real, guys. This one's for real, guys. God is talking. A forgotten book of the Bible, actually written by God, which ties the whole thing together and fixes all the plot holes. I'm going to end it on that note. Okay? So basically, in a nutshell, they're keeping the files stonewalled because there's many players and branches of our society that are implicated. Some people doing things they don't even remember doing. They don't even remember being there. There could be They could be doing an investigation of their own to try to target the victims, to stonewall them, to threaten them. But we're revealing that. So then their next plan is going to be to try to um, possibly not have, some kind of manipulation to have people not remember, to get like Alzheimer's or something. But it's coming out. There's somebody who's not going to be afraid to break the oath. This oath that they made, this oath they all made together to not talk about whatever this is. That were threatened. If you talk about it, it's going to affect everything in your life. Someone who's forgotten, someone who might not be directly in the footage and stuff, but was aware of what was happening and of the list. And we're all going to see it. We're all going to know it, because God's not going to allow these people to get away with what they've done. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter. You still have to pay the consequences of your actions. This is not fair for all the people who were tricked, who were coerced, who were drugged, who were dragged, who were kidnapped, who were victimized. It's not right. And so someone has to take accountability, okay? So, a forgotten book of the Bible, actually written by God, which ties the whole thing together and fixes all the plot holes. So, things that we can um, be aware of um, as we go forward is victims. Let's make sure that in our thoughts we keep the victim safe. We think of them as safe. Let's not think of them as harmed or like Virginia Giuffre, let's send them positivity so they're not affected by this. Let's listen to the victims who are brave enough to come out. I know that there's some that are still um, not afraid to, they're not afraid to die, okay? Which is absolutely crazy that I just said that. Um, there could be someone in the music industry that's ready to come out, okay? So we're going to witness um, perhaps a lot of victims coming forward, a lot more victims. And there could be one person that has some kind of information that the government doesn't have. Okay, something like that. Some kind of secret ingredient of love, something that is hidden from the powers that be, that it will come out, that is divinely ordained by God. Okay. So look forward to that. Let's keep that thought in our mind for that being the timeline that we just jumped onto. Because they're definitely trying to dilute the information. They're going to try to change the faces of the players involved. There are people who don't remember doing things. So, you know, I mean, that sucks, but I mean, you put yourself in that situation with somebody that took advantage of you. Something about blackmail, something about an oath, something about um, we may start to witness a lot of government leaders kind of losing their mind because they're being projected energy onto to do that, so they don't speak, so they don't remember. Lots of officials perhaps getting amnesia or Alzheimer's or something like that. Okay. We love you so much, and we hope this gave you a higher perspective of what's going on. We hope that it helps in any way, shape, or form to help reveal what needs to heal, to help reveal plans and to thwart them so we can go forward in truth and we can start healing this horrible old world travesty. Okay, we can start moving forward into heart consciousness. We love you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.